Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Lockedlooneytune, and I am back for my review for The Bigeest Loser season 14 episode 9. And this episode was like ridiculous. It was like a face your fit episode. We talking sharks, we talking caskets, 70-foot drops. So if you guys are interested in hearing the review, let's get it started. We find out that it's Face Your Fears week, and the first thing we see is Allison right out of the gate telling the players that one of them will be leaving the ranch for a week. And everyone is afraid of leaving the ranch because they don't really think that they'll be able to handle their weight loss the same way as they do while they're on the ranch. They have a challenge that they have to do, whereas though that they have to stack blocks on each other's pictures. They can't stack these cinder blocks though. They're not just like, we're not talking about kids blocks here. We're talking about big ass cinder blocks that they have to grab and stack over these life-size pictures. What they have to do is whoever's picture is not covered in the end, they have to leave the ranch for a week. So while this competition is going on, we see everybody trying so hard to get Gina out of this house. Like, everybody wants her gone. I want her gone. So many people on Twitter want her gone because I was live tweeting during the show. And yeah, Gina, you are not liked by many. Definitely not by many. A lot of the contestants was trying to stack these things and trying to stack on other people's and avoiding Gina's picture so she could be the one to leave. When all of a sudden Jackson, he just screams out, "Hey guys, don't cover my picture. Help everybody else. Don't cover my picture." Okay, so Jackson wants to, to be the sacrificial lamb, and he wants to take one for the team and go back, leave the ranch. That's what he wants to do. And he says, I figure like this. Well, one day I'm going to have to leave anyway. So this is a good trial run. I can figure out, if I'm going to make it out here in the real world once I leave the ranch. So Jeff is Jackson screaming out like, hey, don't put nothing on anybody else. I mean, don't put anything on my picture. Leave my picture alone. Jeff is like, forget that. I want Gina out of here. He's like, I'm not paying attention to him. I'm going to go stack the stuff on other people's pictures. I'm going to put it on Jackson's because I don't want Gina to be here. I want Gina gone. So then Jackson, once again, he breaks it down to everybody, lets them know what this deal is. And then at the end, it comes down, to only a few bricks. And yeah, he pretty much saved Gina's ass from going home for a week. And they wanted her gone bad. So she was kind of very, grateful to him for, sacrificing himself for her. But all in all, Joe actually stacked the most bricks. So he got the 1 pound advantage. And Jackson, he's the one that's going off the ranch. Then we find out that he got to take somebody with him. Get to take one contestant. I'm sitting there screaming at the television, take Gina. Take Gina. Just get her out of there. But then I'm thinking, okay, well, I know he don't want to deal with Gina for a whole damn week somewhere. So he decides to take Jeff. Well, he didn't actually decide to take Jeff. Jeff kind of like volunteered because of the fact that it was very difficult for Jackson to make this decision because some people are not ready to leave the ranch yet, and he didn't want to basically sabotage their journey. So next we get a follow-up, and it's on Francelina, and she just left the ranch like last week, and they're already doing another follow-up on her. But anyway, she lost a total of almost 100 pounds. She was originally 267. She still looks great. And basically she just looks amazing now. So once again, congratulations to Francelina, and I'm sorry that you had to leave last week. So they go back to David, and he is on a little conference call, via video with Lindsay. And since it is, Face Your Fears week, he's asking her what her biggest fear is. And pretty much she was like, if I go to the doctor and they tell me basically that I have full-blown diabetes, because she's already been diagnosed as being pre-diabetic. So Dover tells Lindsay that basically that he's gonna make her, accountable for eating right and exercising because having diabetes is a very serious thing. So what he decides to do is to have someone who has diabetes talk with her. I didn't know how I felt about that. I just felt as though, yeah, this is Face Your Fears Week, but I thought that was just extremely scary. And I'm 39 years old, and it would be scary for me. And the fact that she's a child, and I mean, the whole scared straight thing, I don't know. I just don't know how that would go with me. So next we see Bob, and he's talking to Bingo's mother via video, and basically finding out that Bingo's biggest fear is vegetables. Yeah. Yeah, vegetables. That's what he said. That's what I said. He's scared of the veggies. Really don't understand being afraid of vegetables. Maybe being nasty to some people, but to just have a downright fear of them is kind of weird. Right then, Bingo's mom tells Bob that Bingo thought that broccoli was made in a factory. I mean, seriously, what are you teaching your kids? Seriously, I mean, made in a factory, I'm pretty sure. Okay, this is my thing with that. You watch enough television. The boy is not like 3 years old. He watches TV, and I'm pretty sure he has watched these cartoon channels and different things. And I know they talk about vegetables some in between commercials or something, and he's gained a lot of his weight eating and sitting in front of the television. You cannot tell me that this boy was serious when he thought that broccoli was made in a factory. So Bob's solution is to get these vegetables, blend them up, and mix them in these recipes that he's going to give Bingo's mom to cook for Bingo, so he'll eat them. So she's busy working, probably going to be working in the kitchen, blending up all these vegetables to specifically, get him to eat veggies so he can get the nutrients. They're not going to tell him because then he probably won't eat it. I'm sorry. I just couldn't do it. I'm sorry. I'm just me. I don't know. The way I grew up was if you did not eat your vegetables, you did not get any dessert, you did not go outside to play, you did not get to do anything that you wanted to do. No video games, no board games, no playing with your toys, no playing with your friends. You eat your vegetables, you clean your plate, and that's it. Well, you eat your vegetables. In order for you to, get what you want, you have to do something good for yourself, which is eat your damn vegetables. And I still do that to this day. I mean, even throughout my obesity, I still would try to raise my kids to the point where they had better eating habits. And I still do that with my kids today. So Jackson and Jeff, they get to the house, which is in an undisclosed location, where they're going to be staying. So they go in and they look around. They're like, hey, this is nice. This is nice. Until they discover there's nothing in the cabinets. There's nothing in the refrigerator. They have to go shopping. They have to do their own shopping. They have money to go grocery shopping, but they have to make sure that they buy the right kinds of foods. They see these bikes outside the house, and it's like two little, little bikes. I say little bikes. They're like normal, regular sized bikes. And then Jeff is like, "Oh, no, honey, these, this bike is not ready for my 308-pound self yet. They're not ready." So next we see Jillian, and she's talking to Sunny about what her biggest fear is. And we find out that Sunny's biggest fear is losing her mom due to the fact that she's very, very overweight. And she wants to, she wants her to get healthy. So Jillian tells her, maybe you should try to talk to your mom and find out what the problem is, as far as find out what's holding her back from making the changes in her life that she needs to make. I see that it would be a big problem for Sunny to get healthy if her mom continues down the road that she's going down, and it will be disastrous for her if she does not get a hold onto this as soon as possible. All right, so now Jillian's talking to Gina. Yeah. And basically, Gina is whining again about nobody ever being there for her, and every time she tried to do something or whatever, nobody's got her back, basically. I don't get it. Like, I don't understand. How would you expect anyone to have your back if all you ever do is catch attitude, whine, bitch, complain about your situation? If that's all you ever gonna do, how could you ever expect anyone to have your back for you? They're not. They're not gonna have their back for you if all you're gonna do the whole entire time you're there is bitch, whine, complain, get mad, catch attitudes, say you don't respect people, yell. I mean, it's just endless. And then once your time on the ranch is threatened, then you turn into little timid Gina, and this is poor me, and I'm the victim. No, I'm still not buying it. I'm still not buying it. Gina says, Jillian pulled out some things out of me that I needed to acknowledge, and this is how this has been going, and basically, gave her a big hug and all that. But then that sucks because at the end of the day, all she's gonna do is just turn around, be yelling at Jillian, be yelling at Bob, be yelling at Dover, talking about you guys are always ragging on me. If me personally, I need to see a change in Gina. If this doesn't change her, I mean, really, this episode should definitely change her, at least a little bit. So back to the undisclosed location, we see that Jeff and Jackson have gone grocery shopping. They are getting all the things that they need because they don't have any food in their house. So they get that food back to the house, and then they start bonding a little bit, start talking about what they think everybody else back on the ranch is doing. And Jeff is like, well, basically he thinks Gina is bitching again and talking about quitting and going home. He thinks Joe is in pain, complaining about an injury. He thinks Alex is just walking, and he thinks Danny is running a 10K. Jeff and Jackson are documenting their little trip away from the ranch. They're actually hiking on this particular day, and they are looking for the Hollywood sign, and come to find out they were on the wrong mountain. But they were actually really getting into the elements, definitely taking advantage of their surroundings and getting their exercise in. They were really working it out. But I need Jackson, he needs to really shave that situation going on under his neck. He's looking like a real serious mountain man. But Jeff, Jeff looks into the camera, and all I can see is those eyes. Jeff has some of the most gorgeous gray, whatever color they are beautiful. Okay, so then we go to Bigeest Bob. Bob has sent her these recipes, and she's getting ready to make this meatloaf. Oh my goodness gracious. Now, the meatloaf has like vegetable puree, has carrots, sweet potatoes, peas, all kinds of stuff in it. Now, she's calling it meatloaf, but I didn't see any meat. My whole thing is, are you trying to make him eat the vegetables by mixing it into the food with the meat? Or are you just trying to just trick him totally and tell him, look, this is meat and it's not really meat? They actually fix this, serve it to Bingo on a plate, and he's like, he picking through it, and he's looking like, oh, this looks suspect. This looks really suspect. But he opens up a big bite, I mean, he opens up his mouth and takes a huge bite of it, and he's eating it. Now, you know they had to play the big dramatic music for that part. I was sitting there just dying like, oh God, what are they doing to this kid? So then after he finished eating all his food, his mom gonna say, did you like it? Was dinner good? He's like, it was good. I liked it. He was like, well, the reason I'm asking you this is because there was spinach, broccoli, peas, sweet potato, carrots, all this stuff in the meatloaf. His face, Bingo's face, priceless when she told him that. He was just like, really? They quickly, cut away from his face when he was doing that. I know he was upset. I probably would have been upset. I know I would have been upset if you did that to me. You know, just, to trick me like that. I think that was pretty kind of messed up. I guess they were very, desperate to get him to eat some vegetables. Now, but another thing that bothered me was that the mother said in the 13 years that Bingo been alive that this is the most vegetables he's eaten. Really? I mean, that kind of goes with your position as a parent. The boy is only 13. He's not a grown person. That kind of goes with your job, mom and dad, to make sure that your kids do eat their vegetables. So Jillian and Gina are having a conversation. They're walking around outside. And Jillian asks Gina what's her biggest fear. So Gina says, I'm claustrophobic. I'm afraid of closed-in spaces. So right on cue, they walk around a little corner of this little makeshift whatever outside. And there is a casket there, like a whole little funeral setup. You know what I'm saying? And it's like flowers. And then there's a little wreath with a picture of Gina, like her original picture of what she looked like when she first came to The Biggest Loser. So I'm looking like, oh. So Jillian just tells her, you know why we did this? It's because you're killing it's because you're killing yourself. I'm sitting there thinking, y'all ain't do this because of that. Y'all doing this because Gina is getting on y'all damn nerves and y'all trying to scare the shit out of her. They would get me with that one. You put me in a coffin, and yeah, you put me in a casket, yeah, I'm a freak the fuck out, especially if I'm claustrophobic. But, that's a big but. I believe she deserved everything that she got, because she got in there and she was, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't.
How do you like it in there?
I don't like it very much.
You know how many times you tried to walk out of this place? How many times have you tried to quit the show?
I don't know. I lost count.
Yeah. And what's so funny about that is I think the show is the one thing between you and this box.
If I let the process work, it'll save my life. I know that. I know that.
Do you really know that?
I do.
So before you run, think, stop and think about this moment.
I was like, no, really? You know what? This is it right here. This right here is it. If this don't scare this child straight, if she don't get her shit together, stop picking on people, stop just being a big ass baby and whiny all the time, if she don't stop it after this, seriously, there's just got to be something. She needs to change her attitude and quick. So it took putting that child in a casket in order to get her to wake up and smell the coffee and change her ways. So Lindsay goes to meet a guidance counselor at the school that Dolvin set up, that she has diabetes. So they're sitting down and they're having a conversation, and basically she's telling her about how she felt when she found out she had diabetes, the process that she has to go through to maintain her diabetes, daily. And then she pulled out the kit. You know, she pulled out the needles. She said she don't like needles, but it's something that she has to do. And then so she's like, she doesn't want to scare her. Me, if I was Lindsay, I'd be scared. I'd just be scared. So it's challenge time. And now all the players are standing on top of this 7-story building. There are weights with their name on it. There are platforms on the edge of the building. And then Allison, she brings out Jeff and Jackson. So they have come back to participate in this challenge. The thing about it is they have to hold up 40% of their body weight. Each individual has to do this. If they let go of the bar that they are using to counterweight the weight on the other end, they fall off the building. They have, the little protective harnesses and stuff like that, but still, nobody wants to fall off the side of a building. Like, this shit just went straight from Biggest Loser to Fear Factor real quick. Only one person can win this challenge, and the winner of this challenge gets immunity. So everybody's talking about how important this immunity is to them. I mean, it's important to everyone for different reasons. But then Jenna is like, well, yeah, I really need it because they'll send me home. Hell, I'd send me home. Yeah, I'd send you home too. So yeah, you definitely would want to get that. So the challenge starts and I'm sitting there watching and all of a sudden I see people start falling. They dropping like flies. I have to say though, when Jackson fell off that building, he was crying like a straight bitch. I have never seen anybody scream like that in my life. It was crazy. I was like, what is all the scream? I mean, I know he fell off a building, but it was like, ah, ah, ah. And I was dying. I couldn't help but completely lose it when he did that. Everybody go down until it is just two people, Danny and Gina, the whiner and the winner. Like, they are like, what is the chances that those two would be the last two in, this particular challenge for immunity? I'm looking and I'm watching and Danny is actually, she's strong, but she is not doing so well. And I'm very shocked about this. I'm looking like, this is not Danny. But Gina is holding steady. Like, she wants to stay in that house that bad. I mean, really, it seems like just her being evil and mean to people is what is powering her to stay, on this platform and not fall off the side of this building. So in the end, Danny slips and Gina wins this competition. And she doesn't just win the competition. She lets out a scream. It was just